Hey guys, it's Saad Akbar and you're watching Teach Academy. Today on my show, I've got two guests. I've got Miran, who's a student here at Teach Bahrain.
Hey.
And we have my colleague, Dana, who's a teacher here at Teach Bahrain.
Hello guys, how are you?
Right, today we are going to be discussing a really cool topic. We're going to actually be talking about billionaires who quit school too early. Why do you think that is, Miran? Do you want to start?
I think that they know what they're gonna do and they're willing to take the risk of doing that.
So you think if you're sorted, you don't need to continue with school?
Kind of.
Okay, teacher's opinion. What do you think?
So I feel like with billionaires, they have too many thoughts to the point that school can't even handle it. So in a sense of, or in a way of, they are beyond school. They have thoughts where traditional schools won't support, or traditional schools won't, let's say, nourish these thoughts or these imaginations or these ideas. Whereas if they leave school, they focus on themselves, they end up doing what they love instead of following the footsteps of people that go to traditional schools.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, you're pretty driven yourself as well, yeah?
Yes.
So I think you've brought us to this crossroad where you're like, all right, there are two things. Either the kid's so driven that the school can't contain the talent.
Yeah.
Or the school just is not built to support that kind. So it's the school or the kid. So which one do you think that is?
Here's the thing. One, it depends on the school, right? Let's say in Bahrain, we have good schools, but they still follow the traditional aspect of schooling, or they follow the traditional schooling system, right?
Right.
Which is not necessarily perfect for this generation. Especially with the new technology, new techniques, the way that kids these days think. I don't think traditional schooling has improved to the point that it can nourish these kids.
Got you. Miran, what do you think? So, Ms. Dana was talking about two things. She was like, either it is that the kid is so smart that the school can't contain the talent, or it is that the school is just not built. So is it the kid going too fast, or is it that the school is too slow?
The school's too slow.
Oh, why do you think that is? Are you talking about the traditional schools?
Yeah.
You're not talking about Teach Bahrain?
No.
No. Okay. Right, so which one? Why is that?
Because the schools, they have just certain amounts of level by age group. For like traditional schools, they can like skip a grade or like skip a grade or two. And, like it never goes above like 3 years or 4 years. They're normally like below 1 or just 1. Now, now the school doesn't grab your attention on what level you are. You can be like 5 years ahead where you are, but the school won't know it, and the school does not really care about you. The school is just like, okay, this kid's age is 12. He has to do 12-year-old stuff. And the school only has like, if the child is more like he is 12 but he has the mind of a 10-year-old, the school's going to give him 10-year-old stuff, but they're not going to give a 12-year-old kid whose mind is at 15-year-old stuff.
Got you. So it's like one size fits all approach is a problem.
Yes.
So even if you're smarter, there is no progressional path that you can take to develop at your pace, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now you're a child entrepreneur as well.
Yep.
And you were a child entrepreneur as well, so you developed quite a lot. So the question for you guys is, starting with Donna first, how were you actually able to develop faster than other kids, despite of being in the standard schooling system?
It's not that I developed more faster than the other kids, but it's more of I thought outside the box. So for me to think that at, let's say, 12 or 13, I was able to do my own business and create my own business and build it up, it's just me thinking outside the box. The rest of the kids did not think they had the capacity to do that, right? Because they were so limited and they were so focused on studying that they forgot to do the stuff. I always thought I was always thinking one step ahead. I was thinking outside the box because I didn't just want to be limited to studies and book studies. Where's that gonna get me? At the end of the day, again, as I said before, we live in a generation where anything you want to do is possible, right?
صح.
Okay, so why not? Why not go outside the box? Try your luck. Yeah, at the end of the day, even if you don't do well, you're not gonna lose anything, right?
Interesting. Very interesting take. So you think that it is more to do with the overall development. So is it to do, so the question that I have for you is it to do with complete overall development? Or is it to do with thinking out of the box? Or is it to do with working harder than others? Which one is it?
It's three of them in a way.
Okay.
But mostly it's because they limit these students, right? People, adults, limit their kids, not even teachers, but adults in general. They limit kids to the point where they think, the kids eventually think that, okay, I can't do this. Why? Because this adult, this person that's older than me is telling me I can't. But why not? We've seen kids now do better than most adults.
That's true.
We've seen kids that are smarter than adults.
True.
We've seen entrepreneurs that are younger than adults.
True.
We've seen adults that can't do half of what a kid does.
Absolutely.
Yet we still live in a world where adults think that they're better than kids.
Hmm.
And they limit them to an extent.
Aha, so it's the limiting factor.
Yes, I was lucky enough to have people around me that didn't limit me. They supported me. But others might not have that support. The only reason I was able to go outside the box, I think outside the box, was because I had people supporting me.
Amazing.
So, in the case that a kid does not have that, because all these adults are on top of his head telling him, you can't, and you won't, and you're not going to succeed, and all these negative affirmations.
Ah, so it just limits and then they can't grow.
Exactly.
So they've contained
Yes.
into that box now. How much of a role do parents play in this whole mechanism of?
Parents can give negativity and positivity, but for me, negativity is motivation. So when somebody tells me to, like, you are bad, your grades are bad, and if I love that person and I find them my role model, I try to change that. And parents are always trying to say that you can't do this, you can't do that. And I try to find a way and I try to find a way to prove them wrong. That's just me. I don't know why I do that.
So basically what you're saying is you've learned how to take harsh criticism well.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So going back to my initial question. So why is it that people like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, like there's so many of these billionaires, right, sitting up top. So what are the actual factors that they see at school and then they just start thinking that the school is just a waste of time? What is it? And also, I mean, I've got an educator and I've got a school student. What could school do about this? What could the school improve on so it is able to provide a platform for all kids so that they turn into, you know? You want to go first? Sure.
Yep. I personally think that that the schools, that, for example, Mark Zuckerberg, he was doing his school and then he graduated and he taught and he passed all of his grades really nicely. And Harvard, it's definitely Harvard, decided to take him, but then his mind started to thrive. He was thinking like, college isn't important. I don't have to do it. It's just because I finished high school, and back at that time, college wasn't as important as it is now. So he thought like, why do I need college when I can create my own business where I don't need a PhD, I don't need a diploma, I don't need anything. And so, for example, what I think about him is that he was fed up about this and he just decided to quit.
So you're a child entrepreneur as well,
Yeah.
right? So where do you think, how important do you find education for yourself?
Very important.
Okay. Why is that contrary to what Mark thought earlier?
Mark thought, because Mark already knew all of that and he wanted to learn something different which wasn't in his college, and he wanted to continue with his business, with his idea of having a social media platform called Facebook. So he decided to continue. I right now find education important because I'm still a kid. I need to know my. I need to know.
Such a beautiful answer that is. So smart you are.
I need to know
Thanks.
simple. I need to I need to know just basic maths, basic English, so people don't think I'm an idiot. So people don't think that I'm a redneck and a hillbilly.
You're funny. Right. Dana, now, to wrap this whole thing up, last question for you. So you're an educator, and you've come from a system that does not support entrepreneurs, and it does not support that rapid growth that certain people need and who are driven. What do you do that is different when you're schooling kids or when you're relaying that now? So now that you're on the other side of the spectrum, what do you do differently, and what should other schools do too? Like, how can they help ease the situation?
Okay, so the good schools, I'm gonna speak about locally, yeah? I'm gonna speak about it locally in Bahrain and internationally. So in Bahrain, we have good schools. The thing is, they go through the same system, right? The system that was still there, that existed 200 years ago. Why are they not changing it? Here's the thing, they need to focus on the future. They need to focus on technology. They need to focus on, as Teach Bahrain says, creating the leaders of tomorrow, right? So, because schools limit these kids, they're not gonna go anywhere. So schools, they'll have to, eventually, within 10 to 20 years, they'll have to change their system. Because it's not one size fits all when it comes to school. School should be different for each and every student depending on what they want in their life.
The school
Maybe-
system has been the same since like 1800s and now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Exactly.
200 years. Ouch.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's why I feel like they have to adjust their teaching system, right? They have to adjust the way they look at things. They have to adjust how they talk to kids too. Because, okay, maybe one person wants to go to university, and good for them. At the end of the day, it's up to you and what you want to do, right? So maybe I want to be an entrepreneur, but this other person doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. They just want to have a good job, a good life, and that's it. They don't have these dreams, desires, or whatever. But they still want to do something with their life, which is have a normal job. And then the other kid wants to be an entrepreneur, wants to create something, wants to do something with his life. So they have to cater each kid based on what he wants and what he needs. And eventually, let's say until middle school, yes, as he said, it's good to have basic maths, basic English, basic Arabic, just for you to know these basic level of studies, right? Because even an entrepreneur needs these basic stuff, yeah? But once it gets too sophisticated, I might not need it, Mira might need it, you might not need it, the other kid might need it. So again, it's about catering to each student's wants and needs.
Absolutely. Guys, that was a beautiful discussion. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. If schools are watching this, I think we have a perspective of a student and a teacher. So you've got all the factors that you're missing on and need development on. So have a look at this, check it out, and make the change that is necessary. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Cheers. Adios.